Welcome to today's video blog. Today's video blog is going to be my my book wrap-up for the month of, I think we'll say, July and August, I think, because the last one I think I did was for May, June. And I've sort of had, rather than doing the monthly, I figured it'd be better if I did like the bi-monthly because I'm not one of those people who reads like 5 books a month, and like I kudos to you if you can do that. I can't do that. um, Between like Evil Day Job and my own writing for my own books, I pretty much just read before bed and on my way to and from work and during breaks. So I think all together, I think I read three and a half books because I'm not finished this one book, and I'm going to tell you what book I'm currently reading. So yeah, three and a half, let's say. The first book and the both, like most of these are audiobooks. So I don't have the cover with me to show you, but I'll add it at the end and you can see. The first book that I read and completed was Dirty Secret by Emma Hart, and it's a teenage lovers who reunite. She They were like friends growing up, and then they fell in love. He's the lead singer or something of like a rock band, and she comes back to their small town to I can't remember why right now, but she comes back with her little girl, and he happens to be I think they're in their town because they're gonna do like a tour or something, or they're relaxing, I think, before they go on their next tour or something like that. So they meet up again, and he finds out about this daughter that he never knew he had. And I really enjoyed the book. I didn't love it, but I really enjoyed it. It was the chemistry between the characters, Sophie and Connor, I believe were the characters' names. I really liked the spark between them. The chemistry between them was really good. And I'm one of those people who I love children in romances. I know there are people that don't. I love who think they're just I think the term is plot moppet, which I think is a very cute term, but they use it as sort of like the kid is not really like its own character. It's sort of just there to either like soften the male character or the female character as well, and that's sort of how they see it. And some readers don't like that. I love kids in romances. I love reading them. I love writing them. So that aspect of it, I really enjoyed that too. The one thing I didn't like as much was the conflict that kept them apart. Now, throughout, like she comes back to town, he comes back to town, and he wants to know why she left him. I mean, they were so in love as teenagers. They had this amazing future that they hoped for together, and then all of a sudden she just up and leaves. And there's sort of this hint that it's more than just she left him because she didn't want to tie him down so that he could like follow his dreams and be this successful musician. Okay. But and when she found out that she was pregnant, she felt like that he would be stifling his future and keeping him from pursuing his dream. Okay, fine. But there was this undertone of no, there's something more. There's something she's not telling him. Um, and in the end, it ended up just being that I don't think it'd be spoiling anything because it wasn't this big secret. Um, it ended up just being that she was afraid that he, being surrounded by all that fame, all that the groupies and the you know all the just that sort of atmosphere, that it would make him not want to settle for this little quote unquote nobody. That it was her own insecurity rather than this altruistic, no, I'm going to let you go so you can pursue your dream, that actually led to her leaving him. I would have liked more of an actual like conflict there. Like there's this brother who I can't remember his name right now. Tate, I think his name is Tate, and he's very sort of jealous and antagonistic um, towards Sophie, and he and Connor butt heads a lot. Um, I would have liked to sort of see something in the conflict be like on that angle, like maybe Tate had a talk with her and sort of pushed her to leave so that she wouldn't ruin their chances of being this big successful rock band. I would have liked that to have happened, but that didn't happen. So um, I uh, I I liked I really really enjoyed the book. I liked it. I didn't love it. The second book, second and third, um, is a part of a trilogy that is the Nina Lane Spiral of Bliss trilogy, and I think the first one is Arouse, and the second one is Allure, and it's the story of Olivia Winter and Dean West, and they're married, and he's this university professor, and it's sort of their story of their marriage and how Dean, it's, I love this story. It's their marriage and how he's I think like 10 years older than her, and he's this sort of very protective Mr. Fix-It type, and she has always let him take care of her because she came from a very unstable home life, and so when she finds this man who she's crazy in love with and they're crazy in love with each other, it's so easy for her to fall into the trap, I guess, of letting him do everything and like take care of her, and for her not to have to stand on her own 2 feet, not because she can't, but because for so long growing up she's had to, because her mother's was completely useless and just emotionally abusive. Um, and then that dynamic sort of starts to unravel, where uh, because of sort of outside forces, they're forced to take a look at their marriage and see that the way that it's going is not necessarily the way that it should be going. Um, and because of her upbringing, she's never really thought that she would make a good mother because she's had no strong good maternal influence. Like I said, her mother was completely useless. Um, so then something happens and she starts to wonder if, she's always said that like she doesn't want children, and he's been okay with it because um, he was previously married, and the wife had a lot of miscarriages. So he sort of resigned himself to being like not being a father. So when he meets Olivia and she says she doesn't want children, well, that's all, he's fine with that. But then as the marriage progresses, she sort of starts to change her mind. And that causes a lot of friction in the marriage. Um, and it's sort of like this idea of how people evolve and change, and what does that mean in a marriage? Like, just because you feel one way when you begin, does that mean that you can't evolve and change your mind about things? And what happens when you do? Um, and there's also things happen with at his university, and like I'm not gonna spoil that, but I'm I enjoyed book one, which was Arouse. Oop, my screen went blank. Let's see if I can. Oh, am I frozen? I'm not sure. Am I? I think I'm back. Oh, technology. Um, yeah, I enjoyed book one. I enjoyed book two. I'm halfway through book, look, I'm a little over halfway through. I think I've got, again, it's an audiobook, and I think I've got like 3 hours left or so, and I'm loving book three so much. I think book three is my favorite. Out of the trilogy, book three is my favorite. I have 3 people in that book that I want to kill. Her mother, Crystal Winter, I guess her last name would be. Her mother, um, Maggie Hamilton, I won't tell you who she is, and Edward Hamilton, I won't tell you who he is, because you have to read this series. It's so good, especially book three. Oh my god. So yeah, those are the uh, 3.5 books that I have read for the month of July and August. Right now, and I should have had this ready to go, but I didn't. Let me see, right now I am reading a dark romance, and I think I'm gonna do, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I think I'm gonna do a video blog on dark romances, because I think there's a lot of I have thoughts. I have thoughts about the dark romances, and I have thoughts about people who sort of, I guess, would the word be kink shame? I'm not sure if kink shame is the right word, but I'm reading Captive in the Dark by C.J. Roberts, and it's the first book of apparently either a trilogy or a what's it? What, quadrangle? Quadrilogy? Is that a word? In the series? It's I think there's 4, but yeah, I think I'm at like 80-something% on there, so I think I'm almost finished the first book. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I meant to read the blurb to you. Again, it's very dark. Let me see. Okay. This is the blurb for it. Cable, oh my god. Caleb is a man with a singular interest in revenge. Kidnapped as a young boy and sold into slavery by a power-hungry mobster, he has thought of nothing but vengeance. For 12 years, he has immersed himself in the world of pleasure slaves, searching for the one man he holds ultimately responsible. Finally, the architect of his suffering has emerged with a new identity, but not a new nature. If Caleb is to get close enough to strike, he must become the very thing he abhors, and kidnap a beautiful girl to train her to be all that he once was. 18-year-old Olivia Ruiz has just woken up in a strange place. Blindfolded and bound, there is only a calm male voice to welcome her. His name is Caleb, though he demands to be called Master. Olivia is a young, beautiful, naive, and willful to a fault. She has a dark sensuality that cannot be hidden or denied, though she tries to accomplish both. Although she's frightened by the strong, sadistic, and arrogant man who holds her prisoner, what keeps Olivia awake in the dark is her unwelcome attraction to him. Y'all, this book, I'm like, yeah, I'm at like 86%. And it's so good. It's so good, and it's dark and twisted and goes to some very, what I would say would be triggering places for people who may not be comfortable with that kind of subject matter. So be warned. If you're not comfortable with themes of like non-consent or physical violence or just every like there's no political correctness up in here. Let me just tell you, there's no political correctness up in here, and so be ye warned. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this week's video blog. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie. I will put the covers for the books that I wasn't able to show you at the end of this video, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!